If you are new here, this channel is all about educative stuffs. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell and smash that like button for instant updates. Hello guys, welcome to another video in Code 4 and this video is going to be about output devices. So without further ado, let's start with our first output device, which is the inkjet printers. Printers are used to print documents and images, and these inkjet printers do these jobs perfectly. They use liquid ink cartridge to print. Each printer has four colors: red, green, blue, and black, which then combines together accordingly to produce different colors. There are two types of printing technology in inkjet printers, which are thermal bubble and piezoelectric. Thermal bubble is where the ink droplet is heated so it forms a bubble. It then rapidly enlarges and explodes, spraying paint on the paper. Piezoelectric is where, as seen in the picture, the piezo element deforms, pressurizing ink to flow out of the nozzle when electricity is passed. When these are done repeatedly, it forms an image. The output device does the same job of the inkjet printer, but the way it prints is different. Laser printer uses toner or powder cartridge instead of ink. It would be easy for you to understand if you go by the picture. When we order the printer to print, the processor reads the one that needs to be printed. Then there is a drum which is spinning. It will be filled with positive charge by the electrifying object. Then the laser writes the document or the image in the spinning positively charged drum. When the laser touches the drum, the area it touches changes negative. Like if you take this as an example, you can consider this whole thing as a drum. And what we are going to print in this is an eye image. So what happens is the laser draws an eye image in the drum. So the area where the laser light touches will change negatively charged. So the positively charged toner attaches to the drum, then the paper is taken and is also being charged positive. So the toner from the drum sticks to the paper where the paper is then compressed with heat so the toner sticks permanently. Coming on to a different type of printer which prints actual 3D objects. Yes, the 3D printers. 3D printers work similar to the inkjet printers because both contain a print head moving left and right to print. You would have understood by just seeing the image, but it is my duty to explain. First, we must give the shape and other data to the printer so that it can print the model. This model can be designed using a CAD, which is a computer aided design software. The design model will be printed layer by layer where the nozzle ejecting the filament will move around to correctly lay the molten filament. These filaments can be made up of plastic, cement, ceramic, and etc. This is all about 3D printers. So let's move on to the next output device. Coming on to 2D and 3D cutters. There isn't much to say about these because there isn't much of weightage or information to speak about. But we are going to see it very briefly. 2D and 3D cutters are cutters that can be frequently seen in automobile or any kind of manufacturing plant. These cutters use powerful laser to cut objects like wood and thin metal. Sometimes, instead of lasers, water can be used where a heavily pressurized water will pass on making the object cut. Since these cutters cut 3D objects, they can also be used to make 3D objects in a particular shape. But these cutters can only cut in X and Y direction. So if we need a 3D object, it is better to go for a 3D printer. As I said, this is all about 2D and 3D cutters. So let's jump on to the next output device. Speakers. Speakers, as we all know, are used to create sounds. These speakers work by the principle of electromagnetism. Sounds are basically vibrations. speakers make these vibrations by moving forward and backward as in the image. When a current is passed through the coil from one direction, like from this end of the coil to this end of the coil, the speaker coil or the voice coil will move upwards. Else, if the current passes from this end of the coil to this end of the coil, then the voice coil will move downwards. So, to instruct the speaker coil to move up or down, the DAC, which is the digital to analog converter, will convert the zeros and ones stored in the computer to electrical signals which will move the coil, causing vibrations or sound. This is how you hear a sound through the speakers. Hoping you have understood, let's move on to the next output device. LCDs. This is an amazing piece of engineering, at the same time a very interesting thing to learn about. Firstly, we need to know what are subpixels. So, every pixel in a screen has three subpixels which are red, green and blue. And these subpixels or the color intensity of the subpixels ranges from 0 to 255. Value 0 in a subpixel means the respective subpixel color is black or represents no color, and if it is 255, the intensity of the color is high, or in other terms, bright. If you take the first pixel, the pixel shows or represents a white color. Since white is made up of red, green and blue, the values of the subpixel is same or 255. If we take this image, the pixel in it represents yellow. Since yellow is a combination of red and green, the two subpixels red and green is given a value of 255 and blue is given a value of 0. So it is black or no color. So the total pixel shows a color of yellow. Coming back to this slide, the image shown here shows a green subpixel. If we need a red subpixel, we can change the green filter here to a red filter so it only allows red color. The total setup is a LCD. Going by the components one by one, first there is a backlight which is typically made of LED to provide light to the subpixel. LEDs are used since it uses less energy and can reach maximum brightness faster. In light, there are two types of polarization, which is vertical and horizontal. So, this horizontal polarizer will only allow horizontally polarized light to pass on, and this vertical polarizer will only allow vertically polarized light to pass on. So these liquid crystals acts like a prism where it changes horizontally polarized light into vertically polarized light. This happens when the subpixel value is 255, so the horizontally polarized light changes into vertically polarized light, so it can pass through the vertical polarizer and can brighten up or show a green color. But if the value is 0, then the transparent electrodes will be passed with electricity, so it changes the orientation of the liquid crystals. So the liquid crystals cannot change horizontally polarized light to vertical. So the vertical polarizer will block the light. In a 1980 into 1080p screen, there are 2 million pixels, which means there are 6 million subpixels. So for each subpixels, there will be a structure like this to show the content in the screen. This is all about LCDs. Let's move on to the projector. Light projectors. In this day-to-day life, we use two types of light projectors. They are DLP and LCD. DLP is digital light projectors. Firstly, seeing about DLP, it uses a xenon bulb to produce bright white light and micro mirrors to show the color in certain areas of the screen. Going deep for your understanding, you can compare a micro mirror with a pixel. If the micro mirror is on, then the pixel is turned on, or an area of the projected screen is showing its respective color. If it is off, then it is not showing. The term here on and off means if the micro mirror is on, then the angle of the micro mirror is towards the lens. Else, if off, it is away. Seeing the components in the DLP, there is a lamp, then there is a condensing lens to focus the light, and there is a color filter, then there is a shaping lens, then there are millions of micro mirrors, and then again a lens. The purpose of the color filter is to allow a particular color inside it. Like if it is red filter, it will only allow red color. Likewise, there the color filter has three colors separately which will be rotating. So, when the light from the condensing lens is passing through the red color filter, red light will be allowed. So, for example, let's take a white color which is a combination of red, green and blue is projected in the screen. When the light filter is red in the DLP, which is the color filter, all the micro mirrors will be turned on, allowing red. The same happens when the filter is green and blue. So when the red, green and blue are showed individually within a fraction of a second, it appears to be white. If a red image is needed to be shown, the micro mirror will be on when the filter is red, else it will be off, showing a red image on the screen. That's totally about DLP. So moving on to LCDs. The difference between how a DLP and a LCD work is that DLP will show colors one by one. Like say if we are projecting a white color through a DLP projector, then first red color will be shown, then a green color will be shown, then a blue color will be shown. Actually, we cannot see it through our naked eye since all these colors change within a fraction of a second, which will be appearing to us as if we are seeing a white color. But in the case of LCD projector, it is not like that. It will combine those red, green, and blue colors and show it as a white color all at once. So in the LCD there is a light source which is then passing on through a dichromatic mirror. So let's take blue dichromatic mirror for an example. A blue dichromatic mirror will allow blue color and reflect the other colors. So using the dichromatic mirror, the white light is separated into red, green and blue. Then these colors pass on to a LCD. As explained in the previous slide about LCD, the same happens here. So each time light passing through a LCD will create an image of the respective color. Like if a white color is projected, then the red color passing through the LCD will create a red color image. Then for blue and green light, it creates a blue and green image respectively. These three images will be combined using a diachronic combiner cube and then will be projected on the screen. We have now come to the end of this video. Hope you understood all about output devices. Thank you.